Today, John is going to the village off licence because Janet has had one of those days at work and has run out of cream sherry. Janet gives John the money and tells him not to talk to any strange women. See John skip down the road. The off licence is next door to the Hare and Hounds pub. John is not allowed to go into the pub. Do you know what bard means? Ring, ring, goes the shop bell. See Mrs. Davis behind the counter. Mrs. Davis is from Wales. See the consonants.
Consonants. Oh, it's lovely.
Mrs. Davis is looking for something. Hello, Mrs. Davis, says John. Hello, John, says Mrs. Davis. Have you lost something, says John. Yes, says Mrs. Davis. It's a piece from my old wooden chess set. I can't find it anywhere. It's an antique. I've been looking for weeks. Anyway, what do you like today, John? John says, I'd like a bottle of dry sherry, please. See John give Mrs. Davis the money, put the change in his pocket. Thank you, Mrs. Davis, says John. See John start to skip home. John has not gone far when he remembers he should have asked for cream sherry, not dry.
Oh, naughty John.
Silly John. See John run back to the off licence. I'm sorry, Mrs. Davis, says John. I asked you for the wrong sherry. Could I have a bottle of cream sherry instead? Of course, says Mrs. Davis. Perhaps you can help me. Mrs. Bickerdike told me you're very good with your hands. Can you make me another chess piece? I'd be ever so grateful. See Mrs. Davis give John a chess piece. Yes, says John, I can make one of these. John knows what a spokeshave is. Clever John. John says, I don't play chess much, but I do like a game of cards. So do I, says Mrs. Davis. Next time you're passing, call in for a drink and a game of 7-card stud in the lounge bar. Goodbye, Mrs. Davis, says John. Goodbye, John, thank you, says Mrs. Davis. What fun. John skips home to see Janet. Janet is waiting on the doorstep. See Janet take 2 or 3 big mouthfuls from the sherry. Thirsty Janet.
Oh.
Sorry I was so long, says Janet. Mrs. Davis asked me to copy this pawn for her when she gave me some cream for the dry sack, and she said that next time I'm passing I should call in for a drink and poke her in the snug. See sherry come out of Janet's nose. Do you know how to pull someone through a letterbox by their beard? Janet does.